All right, so it appears that the financial sector has officially taken over the healthcare sector in terms of performance for the month. We are swing trading these stocks, so we're looking for a bigger time frame like the monthly performance here, as opposed to the weekly or the daily performance here. This is just too short term, and then anything bigger than that, the 3 month performance is simply too much time for the trades that only last like a couple of days in my case. So looking at the monthly performance, you can see that the financial sector is obviously outperforming every sector there is. We do have healthcare, which is actually the sector that we traded yet last week. Actually profited a good amount from that right there, but we had some mistakes. I'm going to go over those mistakes, but yeah, so the way I use the Finviz website here is essentially pretty much all this stuff here. So if you want to go ahead and take all these presets, all these filters, just to get a better idea of what I'm looking for, go ahead. But last week I was looking at the healthcare sector. Now I'm going to be looking at the financial. In fact, I already did this, so I'm not going to go too much into details, but the thing is, I didn't find much. In fact, all these trades, all these charts that you see on the screen here, out of all these, I only found, I think it was 5, let's see. Yeah, I only found 5 stocks here that had some opportunity, but not yet primed or not yet at the point where I would enter an actual trade. And for context here, pretty much what I'm looking for is pretty much this right here. This is pretty much the prime setup that I took last week. This is a trade that I took last week here. Essentially what I'm looking for is a massive uptrend, obviously with the sector in your favor. So in this case, TXG, whatever the stock is, it's in the healthcare sector, and considering that last week the healthcare sector was the top performer of the month, obviously we're going to be trading healthcare stocks. So with that in mind, I'm also looking for the moving averages to be pointing upward, so in this direction. So the direction is obviously upward here. Nice little higher highs, higher lows as well, but the main focus is mainly getting a reversal bar, or first of all getting a pullback to the moving averages, and then having the reversal bar present itself. In this case, even Webull agreed with me that this was a hammer candle, so we got a nice little hammer candle right here, and what do you know, right away the next day this stock moved 15%. Now I think I have the lines up here. I should have them. Yeah, so I have a whole bunch of lines here, pretty much where I entered my stop loss, my target, and all these levels, specifically the targets, the adding levels, the stop loss, all this is considered using the ATR. So for example, for TXG here, let's say the ATR, which ATR just stands for average true range, which is pretty much what you should be expecting the stock to move. Like in this case, it'd probably be around $2. The ATR would be $2, so the stock on average moves around $2. So having that in mind, when calculating the stop loss, you would just simply subtract 1 from that. So if the price is the entry price, which in this case was 37.50, we'll just call it that, and the ATR was 2, then we just simply subtract that by 1, and we'll get 1, and we simply find our stop loss by subtracting that 1 from the current price, which would put us at around, I don't even know what the ATR was in this one exactly. I don't have that number, but going with that example, our stop loss would be at 36.55, whatever we said our entry price was. So, and then for our target, it'd also be 2 times my ATR. So again, if my ATR is $2, the target would be $4 above the entry price. So if our entry price was 37, then our target would be 41, I think it is. And I also do that obviously with my adding levels. So I added to this stock 2 times. One of them was right here in this purple line, which eventually turned out to be my stop loss, or I moved up my stop loss to this point after I added in the second one, which is right here, right above this, right on this white line actually. And then we managed to take out 50% of our position at around this level right here. And I'm still actually watching this one. So as of right now, I had a technical mistake in my in these 3 initial trades, because this strategy is brand new. Like, I should have probably mentioned that initially. This strategy is brand new here, so take everything with a grain of salt. But if you're interested in learning more about this strategy, go ahead and join. It's completely for free, the Discord here. But essentially what happened was I took these trades on a simulated account here with Webull, and apparently I had my orders out here to sell all these, but these 3 orders were my stop losses. But as soon as the market opened, it just took me out for some reason. So I decided to just do everything manually instead of just throwing out orders. So for the new trades that I'm going to go over right now, all of them, I'm gonna have to be keeping a close eye on them and selling my position if I get stopped out, or even adding to my position if the price goes in my favor and I have to add. I have to do all that manually, so that's a little unfortunate, but that's just what we have to work with. But yeah, like I was saying, all these 3 positions, these were all trades that I did take officially. It's just that I exited out of them. For some odd reason, the broker Webull here just took me out for some reason, even though none of these prices were even touched during the trading session. In fact, the price was well above all these prices here, but for some reason, it just took me out, so I decided to just do everything manually here. And yeah, but I'm still watching this one. In fact, I'm pretending that I'm in these trades. All 3 of these, ADPT and VCYT. In fact, ADPT actually performed really good, so good that I actually took out all my shares on this one, but we only got a $34 profit, which is pretty good actually. But in terms of TXG, this is the one that we're watching over here in the back. This one actually, we only sold half of the position here, but we're still holding a couple more shares here left, letting this stock move and do whatever it needs to do. If it wants to continue moving up higher, then by all means. But I'm just trailing my stop loss. At this point, it's pretty much up here. Pretty much 1/16 under this current candle right here. So just using the previous bar's low as a stop loss. So in this case, the day just closed, and these are daily candles that you're seeing right here. So every candle represents 1 day worth of time. And as of right now, it is 6 in the afternoon already, or 7. Actually, it's 8 in the afternoon already. So the trading session is well over, and the stop loss pretty much stays the same because, well, yesterday's low is pretty much right here. So there's no need to move it at all. I'm just gonna leave it here. If tomorrow the price does cross over, I'm just gonna take a loss here. But I kind of deviated a little bit from my point here, just trying to explain the strategy. But I'm not going to explain the strategy anymore. I think you got the point. I'm looking for massive trending stocks here that I recently came through a pullback, and then we have a reversal bar, and I just simply enter in there. And then it gets a little complicated in the risk management using the ATRs. But that's not the point here. I took 3 trades here on 3 stocks, all of them in the healthcare sector, simply because I couldn't find anything good. I mean, we did have a couple of them like these right here. Let me see if I can click on them. Yeah, like this one right here. Nice little pullback. Obviously, we have the trend in our favor. But this just wasn't a good enough candle here, reversal candle. And I'm looking for a reversal candle similar to the last one that had a hammer candle at this point. So nothing good here, nothing good here. This one needs to pull back a little bit more. This one was too aggressive of a pullback. Maybe tomorrow if we do get a little doji or something like that, hammer candle, that would obviously catch my attention right there. All these are all financial stocks. Like, for example, this was a bank of, I have no idea. I've never even heard of these names, but they're all banks apparently. Maybe these two are a little bit different, but they're all financial stocks here. This one, no pullback yet. This one's making higher highs. I'm just waiting for a pullback. But all these are pretty good in terms of the trend. Hence why I have them on my watch list. Y'all definitely be keeping an eye on them throughout the week. But the 3 trades that I took today, first one is this one right here, NTRA. So this one right here, I intended a little bit before the market closed. It actually looked really good, like a hammer candle, almost like a piercing candle. But towards the end of the day, it started to move up a little bit more than I expected, and then I wanted it to as well. But it's still a reversal candle regardless. You can see the clear rejection over here as the price tried to pull back down to the moving average, and then some form of resistance over here, I think. Let's see if we can look over here to the left. Yeah, so looking over here to the left, you'll see some resistance over here. Not quite at that level, but somewhat at that level right there. So decent trade overall. Not the best reversal candle, but still, regardless, it's a green candle right here. Pulled back from a rejection from the moving average, and then some form of resistance. So overall, good setup, only 4 shares, expensive stock, by the way. Next one is NRIX. So NRIX is essentially the same thing as the prime setup that I showed you guys earlier, except this isn't really a hammer candle. Kind of is, but it's more like a butterfly doji candle. If you're familiar with that terminology, this is pretty much what it looks like right here. It could have been a little bit smaller of a body, but regardless, a clear rejection exactly at the moving average over here. So hopefully tomorrow we do get to see a nice reversal and even just enough to hit our target over here at the highs over here, and then even after that continuing to run over here for us. And again, the white lines represent the points, the levels where I'm supposed to add. The blue line is a target and the red line is a stop loss. This is actually a relatively tight stop loss that I have on this one right here compared to the other ones, but nonetheless still beautiful setup here. Nice little uptrend right here that we have. The moving averages are all fanging like they're supposed to. And yeah, everything's done properly here. So let's look at the next one here. BHVN. So BHVN, this one I'm a little bit worried about, not gonna lie. Stop loss is obviously a little extended over here to the downside, but that's simply because the ATR just demanded that. So I can't do anything about that. I'm really just gathering data right now, seeing what's working and what isn't. Obviously, once I have like 50 trades down, then I could start making adjustments to the trade or to the system. But as of right now, I'm just gonna stick to my rules here and see how things play out for me. So yeah, this one, it was supposed to be a doji candle. If we look at the 5-minute time from here, you'll see that the price kind of came down a little aggressively. But I mean, when the price was right here, I kind of liked it just because it was simply pretty close to the open, and it looked like a really nice doji candle. But as the day came to a close here, price kind of did come down aggressively, and it kind of didn't form the candle that I originally thought it would. That's kind of the price that you have to pay when entering on the last couple minutes of the day, simply because the last couple seconds or even the last couple minutes of the day get extremely volatile, and the candle that looked like a doji candle could easily change into a pretty nice or not a really nice, a pretty bad bearish candle, like in this case right here. And it's not too bad. It's just not the doji candle that I thought it would have been, that I thought it could have been. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but still nonetheless, rejected out of the moving average. Hopefully tomorrow we do get to see a continuation, and we also have a pretty wide stop loss over here. So even if it does come down tomorrow a little bit, we still have plenty of room over here to work with. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Those are the 3 trades that I have. If you want to look at the spreadsheet here that I have, pretty much my entries here, my stop loss levels, the risks that I'm risking, and here are the other prior trades that I'm going to be keeping an eye on as the days go on. So far we're up $80. Again, if you don't want to consider these first 3 over here, since I'm not technically holding them, then by all means I don't really care. I'm going to be considering them regardless, just because I think the mistake was more of a technical mistake rather than my mistake. So moving over here to the right, you'll see the entry bar types, the moving averages, all the things that I look for when analyzing or when determining the rating of a setup. For example, we have the entry bar. How was the entry bar? Was it a hammer candle like this? Was it a doji candle? So most of them were all good except for a couple of them that I gone over. Hence why if we look over to the right, you'll see that the 2 of them, or actually one of them was just weak candle, and then another one was poor risk to reward. So a couple of things here, but nonetheless, we're all 5 out of 6s, meaning that there's only one thing that really missed the mark, and in these two cases it was actually the technical risk to reward, which essentially means how far is the low of the entry candle to the high of the last swing, and I think it was these 2 here. So obviously this one has a massive wick over here, and if you do the math or even just eyeballing it, you can see that this wick is massive, and then compare that to the high of the recent swing. It's kind of like a 1 point. Well, it's kind of like a 1-to-1 ratio right here. So that's poor risk to reward. And I'm not gonna lie, it is a little bit more like it's more like 1 to 1.25. So it's not a negative risk to reward. It's just not the best risk to reward. And the same thing with this one too. It's not too far. But if you compare it with this one over here, the low of this candle is just right here, and then the high is all the way over here. So this is what I would consider a prime risk to reward ratio right here. This is like at least 1 to 3. So risking 1 to make 3, essentially, right there, what I'm trying to say. And then as of the second strategy, because I do run 2 strategies on the Discord here. One of them is the elephant bar strategy here, if it loads up for us real quick. It's slightly different. Looking for aggressive moves. This is a chart example here of what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for aggressive moves like this that have recently broke out of some resistance, and that is at least going up 20% for any given day. So that's what I'm looking for. And so the real reason why I started a new strategy was because I was finding it pretty hard and pretty rare to find good opportunities for this strategy. I mean, if you can see here, you'll see that I probably lasted 2 weeks right here just searching for a single setup. But the most recent one is Trax. Trax, I'm actually still in this trade as we speak right here. Let's look it up real quick, see how it's doing. Again, I'm looking for aggressive green candles like this that have broken some form of resistance. And I'm not going to lie, the only downside to this setup right here is the fact that we don't know if it's been in a prior uptrend, simply because it's just a brand new IPO. So a brand new stock that just got introduced into the market here, and we have no history. So we don't know if this is going to continue going up. So we pretty much just don't have the trend in our favor here. We don't know what's going on with this stock right here. So the first day that we entered, we actually performed really good, moving up 11%. But today we kind of just stagnated and moved to the side. Moved up my stop loss to break even, a little bit above break even. And yeah, that's pretty much how this trade is going so far. We do have the spreadsheet right here as well, if you're interested in all the details, the entry details, and then the other details over here. The setup rating actually wasn't that good for this one, 3.5, so that's not too good. I think a couple of things. So the sideways trend, this needs to be an uptrend, but it was obviously just sideways. Even the moving average as well, this would ideally be going upward, but that's pretty much the reason why I give it a 3 out of 5 right there. So yeah, so this week I'm looking at the financial sector, but I'm still willing to take trades from the other healthcare center, which I have a pretty decent list of 17 stocks here to look at. So I'll be keeping an eye on all these. All these are doing pretty good actually, except that they're not really at the spot or the area that I'm looking for them to be. So ideally they would pull back to the moving average again, and then we see a reversal candle right there, and that's pretty much what I'm looking for. So with that in mind, I'll be keeping you guys updated with these 3 stocks. Hopefully as the days go on, I feel motivated to upload videos and keep you guys updated. But if not, join the Discord. I definitely do upload right there every single day without fail. Send out a watch list every single day as well. But I'm going to end it right there, you guys. If you guys enjoyed these videos, make sure to leave a like. If you have any questions, any concerns, even advice, go ahead and leave it down below. I'll definitely get back to you guys. But with that in mind, I'll leave you guys to it. Stay focused, you guys.